I'm Austin Schiff, your GFI podcast host, and in today's video, we will be going over Cup, Trucks, JT3, and Gent 4 driver interviews slash winner interviews. I'm excited to see what these guys have to say and how they reflect on their wins. So let's jump straight in. Alrighty, we're now here with Timothy Rainey Lewis, winner of the Cup Series race at Sonoma. Timothy, what did you do to come away with that win?
Honestly, just gotta keep a consistent pace. And like I said in the post race interview, you kind of let the car drive the track. So if you kind of overstep it just a little bit, it's gonna kind of ruin your entire momentum. So yeah, just keep in good pace.
What would you say was the biggest? Okay, I should rephrase that. What would you say was the hardest part for you during that race?
Hardest part, probably going in the turn one. So tricky. It's super tricky, or 2A, whatever it's called. It's just the uphill, and then it's because the elevation change here is really hard. So that's probably the hardest part.
Who was your biggest worry? Like, who was the main guy to worry about?
At first, probably was going to be Tim Winkoff, but then he got kind of loose and wrecked. So after that, really nobody. I had to kind of ran my own race.
What was your main strategy to come away with that win?
Just run it as long as I can until the fuel goes out, and then once that happens, get a little fuel and just keep pushing.
If we had a race at Sonoma again, do you think you could come back and win?
Yeah, I think I could. Yeah.
So Timothy, we know that you've been fast based on Sonoma and Dover, and I asked you this in the post race interview. Will you be a third win in the league?
I think I have a good shot of going 3 times, like back to back to back at Indy. I feel pretty strong there during like the A6 races and stuff.
Alrighty, well, do you have anything else you'd like to say, Timothy?
No, just thanks for having me on the podcast. I didn't even know that GFI had this, so it's kind of cool.
No problem. Thanks for your time, man.
No problem.
Alrighty, let's talk about Timothy Rainey Lewis for a minute. Uh, Coming away with his first career win at Sonoma, but it feels really good. He's been doing a lot of practice on the tracks, so you love to see it. I'm excited to see what the future will hold for him. I mean, he's fast. The league knows he's fast. He's a really great competitor all around. Alrighty, now it's time for the truck interview. Mitchell Sundstrom. Let's tune in. Alrighty, now we're with our winner with trucks at Dover, Mitchell Sundstrom. Mitch, what was your strategy to come away with the win?
With the Dover here, I my goal was to start up front, try to stay up front as long as I could, just to avoid some of the wrecks. So the first half of the race was just staying up front, not pitting, not getting fuel, just letting everybody else pit and wreck out the first half of the race, stay clean, and then just put it into like a second half race once we can get into that fuel window. So that was the goal there.
Now, would you say any of the cautions helped you at all?
Yeah, I'd say so. There was a good handful of cautions in the first half of the race that helped me extend the fuel run to get over halfway or to get to within finishing on one more stop. And then when I did stop, um, I took tires, and I know a couple fast guys behind me took tires as well. And then we had another caution immediately after, a couple laps later, and then more guys came down pit road, so it gave me track position. And I knew they were on similar tires to myself, and I had good track position on some people that were staying out, and everything kind of fell my way on this race.
Now, would you say who would be the biggest concern during that race if you had to pick someone?
Yeah, there was a handful of guys up front that are always, pretty competitive. I know Ralph was wrecked out early. Kyle's always competitive at these kind of tracks too. Nelson's, up there as well. I can't remember. I know Nelson was coming on strong at the end too, behind Kyle. So There's a handful of guys there week in and week out that are pretty consistent, and we got some newcomers too. I feel like are pretty quick as well.
Now, what would you say the main portion of the race was the struggle?
The struggle, I'd say, was for me. You want to get through the start of the race and get to the end and avoid wrecks and all that. That's something you want to do every race. But with how this was playing out, I had to manage my tires at the end of the race, and I knew Kyle was doing the same. So I knew he was further back in traffic and he had to deal with that a bit more than I had to, so I jumped out to a big lead at the end, the final run there. I normally like to conserve more, but I knew he was held up, so I tried to jump out to a lead just to gap him a little bit, and it worked out. But managing that balance of tire saving and speed is it's always important there, and that was probably the biggest thing during this race.
Now, the last question for you is, if you had it to race at Dover again, do you think it would be a different outcome for you, or do you think you could do it again?
It depends. For me, Dover is one of either I'm okay there or I wreck out. It all really depends on your positioning and the people around you, um, and timing of everything too. It can go many different ways. You want to stay up front. So if I had fallen back at all, gotten involved in anything and lost track position myself, and been stuck in the back, it's hard to make it back up. So it very easily could have gone another way. And this was definitely I don't want to say fluke win, but it was definitely everything went the right way for me to get this. So it could have gone definitely another way.
Alrighty, Mitch, thank you for your time. Do you have anything else left to say?
No, I just want to thank you for the interviews and everything like that, the content. We all appreciate it. So, um, yeah, it's appreciated.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Mitch. Alrighty, that was Mitchell Sundstrom. He's fast. I mean, he won the Cup Series at Echo Park. He's still continuing to prove that he's worthy in this league to go out and get wins, and I'm excited to see it and how much he wins. Obviously, Dover was definitely a tough track for I think a lot of people, but I'm excited to see what he can do. Now let's move to our longest interview of the night, Kyle Purcell with the Road and Gen 4 win. All right, we are now with our Road winner and a Gen 4 winner with Kyle Purcell. Kyle, what was the biggest battle for you in the Road Series?
Myself, surprisingly, in a rain race, the dry weather was my biggest battle because we only had 3 GTPs. My two teammates decided to fall asleep before the race. And then I I self-spun or half self-spun 2 or 3 times in the dry, but didn't have any problems with the wet. So if I could just handle the dry a little better, I would have been in a much better position all race.
What was your plan to hopefully get around everyone?
Um, I mean, again, with only 3 GTPs starting and one of them immediately disconnecting after a self spin, I really just had to worry about Tyler Carson, and I know he's quick and we race clean. We were teammates for the spot 24. Um, I half spun like right away. So my whole plan was to slowly get a second a lap, half a second a lap, whatever I could. And I was doing that until I self spun again. So good plan, poor execution.
Now, who was your biggest worry?
Going in, it was Michael Shaw actually, but then he fell asleep and didn't race. So it ended up being Tyler because he was the only one I was really racing. But yeah, once the rain came, I was quicker, but not quick enough to catch him until his brother took him out for me. So good on him for that.
So now, what made you so fast during the race?
I think it's just practice on the track, even though most of my practice on the track is in stock cars. Just being comfortable with the track, knowing where to be careful. And then I think I just really like the Acura. And from what I read post race, the Acura is actually one of the best options for the rain. So once the rain came, I mean, I was significantly faster. I know he was just driving careful, so he was going slower on purpose. But I felt really confident in the rain once I got a lap or two in and kind of figured out where I needed to be on the track.
What was the biggest part of your strategy for you?
My pit stop early on. We had to pit twice because you couldn't make it to the rain. But if you took rain tires on your first stop, they'd be burned up by the time that started raining. So I knew I'd have to pit again. So I tried to time it with when I expected rain to start, and I only took enough fuel to make it to that point. And then it started raining, but I still had one more lap of fuel, so I actually stayed out an extra lap on slicks, and I think that actually gained me quite a bit of time as well. So just playing the strategy of putting in just how much fuel I needed and, pitting at the right time for the rain.
Now, moving on to the Gen 4, what was the struggle for you?
I mean, the biggest struggle in Gen 4 was just it got tight when you were behind someone, so I kept almost destroying it off the wall. And we were racing so tight, back and forth, go high, go low, try to get some clean air. Sean Chapman and I were just battling hard. Once Austin got out, Austin was right there with us.
Yeah,
By the way,
I don't want to talk. I
right
already
there with
talked
us, but
about
he
it.
decided to eat a wall. So
Yeah, I already talked about it for the points
yeah,
update. I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk
So
about it anymore.
once you were gone, it was just a 3-car battle of dirty air and trying to block each other, and it was really fun. But yeah, that was a big challenge too, because hit the wake wrong on corner exit, and you're not turning anymore, and it's not safe.
So, how much did you tire save in order to come away with the win?
Not too much. It ended up just being pit strategy. Um, I actually did not take tires on the green flag stop earlier, and I pit earlier and didn't take tires, hoping for an opportunity to either pit late for tires or because we had to pit twice anyway. So I just basically shortened the middle run instead of making a short long run or end run. And once we did that, we were good to go. I had fresh tires once the yellow came out, and the other guys did not.
So, what was the biggest concern for you during the race?
I think it was just the strategy because even when I was on that alternate strategy and I felt good about it, the others were drafting with each other, and if they didn't fight each other too much, they could kind of probably pull on me just with draft. And I was worried where I'd cycle out, but it didn't end up coming out because the caution ended up happening before that.
So, who and or what was your biggest challenge?
Again, just dirty air, and those two were fast. I mean, as fast as me, if not faster. But again, better tires at the end just kind of sealed it once I got by them.
So, obviously, you've kind of talked about this question, but what was your main strategy?
Once I figured out that I probably wasn't going to be able to get by them from third to first on just racing and it was going to be tight, I wanted to give myself a chance at an advantage late because I have a win. So I didn't, so, and with where I'm in points, I could afford to take a risk like that and potentially cost myself, worst, I was going to fall to like third or fourth. So why not try to give myself an advantage late? And yeah, just ended up trying to make sure I had better tires at the end if it came down to it.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Alrighty, well, that will conclude winner interviews. Thank you everyone for so much for watching the podcast. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys really soon for the points update. Make sure to like and subscribe, and watch my broadcast on Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for watching, everybody.